Jake will have to, after he's made his pit stop. You can see now Alfie Butcher within 2/10 of Jarno Opmeer as the top three all go into the pit lane now. And does Tomet stay out? Yes, he does. So it will be Tomet taking the lead. And now look at that exit 4. Alfie Butcher looking to get a move up the inside. Jarno Opmeer back into turn 1, and you can see Jarno starting to pull away, but surely Alfie has to send it. He does make contact into the first corner, and that is Jarno off the track. Barely has to come back on. Freddie Rasmussen will gain, but not ideal at all for Jarno Opmeer, who now loses the position to Alfie Butcher, and Alfie now into that provisional P4 position. Now that could be something for the steward room.
What the fuck is he doing? He's just trying to kill me, man. What's wrong with these people? Always this fucking Alfie Butcher guy. He's trying to fucking spin me around on the straight.
I don't know what that was, just turned into me.
Finally, I think Nicholas Longe is going to be able to do the same. The strategy has not worked out for the Hungarian whatsoever in this race. We are now watching Alfie Butcher once again on the back of one of the hard runners. It's 4-lap, fresh and medium tyres strapped onto that Haas heading in towards turn 1. Will he go for a late lunge up the inside? Indeed he will, but he makes contact. He's gone into the back of Tom Manley, and now Alfie Butcher sent down the order. Tom Manley retires on the spot. Safety car deployed on lap 23.
Oh, what am I doing, man?
Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out.
I'm so bad, genuinely.
Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are going to be looking at a few more incidents that have been happening in the most competitive leagues in F1, because these leagues are pretty much the unofficial F1 Esports leagues. Most of the F1 Esports drivers do take part in PSGL and WOR, and we have been talking about for quite a while now, specifically in this game really, of really the driving standards. And as always, please keep the comments as respectful as you possibly can. Let me know what your thoughts are on the incidents that you've seen just before I started speaking here, and I will be putting them back up on the screen. But I think more importantly, again, I've already done many videos in this in the past, and I think it's very important because I know there are, for a fact, many of the people who are involved in the F1 Esports series, the people behind the scenes who are actually running this event, which will be on a LAN this year, which hasn't been confirmed officially yet, but from speaking to quite a reliable source, it will be on the LAN, and the company behind it has done some very good things on other LAN events, which I think is going to be a very good thing, something that should have really been happening for the last 2 years anyway, because I think last year we had obviously the issues with the cheating controversy, which does still need to be addressed. The anti-cheat system does still need to be developed, and just because something is on the LAN doesn't mean cheating isn't possible. It has happened before, although you are going to be taking a much bigger risk. But the real focus on this video is just discussing how we can actually improve the driving in F1 Esports, because there is absolutely no doubt that the talent on display is absolutely incredible, and this is coming from someone who has been playing the F1 games from a pretty competitive level for the last 10 years. I think my first league race I did was back in 2010, so a very long time ago, and I'd be the first one to admit that the level has just gone up exponentially year upon year. And you know, people who were winning races in esports a few years ago, people like Brendan Lee, who are still performing at a very high level, you can see he was actually dominating in his first 2 F1 Esports championships. Same with Jarno Opmeer. You can see everyone else is improving because this is actually becoming a full-time job for many of these drivers. But I also think there is a responsibility of not just the speed, because there are thousands of drivers who are fast enough to qualify for F1 Esports, but I think the way they conduct themselves on and off the track definitely needs to be kind of really looked into a bit more, in my opinion. And again, this is something I mentioned in my last video on the topic. I feel really the teams involved have to do much better in actually mentoring their drivers, especially drivers who are 16, 17, 18. They are probably giving up the most important part of really their social lives, especially from an educational standpoint, giving up exams, time to study for those exams, schooling. People are putting all their eggs in one basket here just to benefit these teams in winning this prize money. And like I said, if the driver doesn't perform, they simply just replace them next year with someone else. And I've said many times, without naming specific organizations, that a lot of these teams don't even pay their drivers. It's simply just through the prize money won through F1 Esports. So the teams are really getting the benefit, but I think the drivers are being severely affected. And you can see with league racing nowadays, although it's to be expected when there is this much reward on the line, the competitiveness is going to go up. You're not simply just going to be playing for fun. I know many pro players in many other games who don't really actually enjoy the game, but they are doing it simply because it's their job and the reward and the benefits you can get out of it. So although you wouldn't want it to be that way, I can understand how it can be, but I think there needs to be a lot more punishment for drivers who are representing these teams, representing certain brands, and just really representing F1 Esports as a whole. Because again, I think F1 Esports can be doing so much better in terms of supporting their drivers. I believe each one of these drivers should be given pretty much a guaranteed set salary. Perhaps the age bracket should be increased just so that drivers can actually make a choice to go into esports rather than sacrificing arguably sometimes the most important part of their lives in order to pursue the streams. And I also think just a lot of the esports teams in general, they simply just want to have these drivers and they get the results for them without any training, without any coaching, any mentoring. They simply want them just to arrive and drive whilst they take a big piece of the pie. And I think that's something that drastically does need to change. And just giving my thoughts on these incidents, Alfie Butcher, there is absolutely no doubt he is one of the fastest drivers on the F1 series. He's a PC Challengers champion, did it in quite a dominant fashion. You can see when he's racing in leagues such as PSGO, WOR, he is very competitive. So he is in the top 10, top 15 fastest drivers on the game. And seeing that reaction there, I know when people are tweeting online or online compared to real life, it could be two different things, but he genuinely does look like he doesn't mean to actually do it. And obviously the only person who knows that is actually Alfie himself, but he clearly has the pace. I think just needs kind of really just the mentoring and coaching of just using that pace more effectively and knowing when and when not to go for things. And I think that is a responsibility of the F1 esports teams. And if the drivers are not going to do that, then don't allow them to represent them in those leagues. Get another driver to do it. And maybe F1 esports as a whole needs to have a much firmer grip on these drivers who are representing this series. Please let me know what you think. Thank you so much for support on the videos, and I'll be catching you very soon. Peace.
What the fuck is he doing? He's just trying to kill me, man. What's wrong with these people? Always this fucking Alfie Butcher guy. He's trying to fucking spin me around on the straight.
I don't know what that was, just turned into me.
Fucking idiot, man. Get these people out of the league. Guy just tries to spin me around on the straight. Absolute clown.
How much did you lose from it?
Well, I almost went into the gravel because of this clown. It's always the same guy. It's always that fucking brain dead dickhead. Always. Guy has zero brains. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about. Absolute clown, man. This guy has got absolute zero wheel knowledge. He's got such a small brain. It's actually special. The guy can't think, man. Can't think, I swear.
Did he crash? Was that him? on the
Man,
inside?
he just fucking straight line to people. What have I just seen? Get this guy out of the league. I swear.